As expected, she caught a fever and ended up in bed for 2 days. But she'd gotten stronger. A fever that normally would have knocked her out for 5 days only lasted 2. That routine repeated for a month. At first, she rested 3 days after each trip, but soon those became 2. Her family threw a huge celebration the day she finally went 5 days without getting sick. But that led to another fever. 3 months later, she finally got permission to go to the forest. Today was the first day she'd go on her own 2 legs. She had a basket and a spade for digging clay. Dad grabbed her shoulders. "Today you're going to go to the forest and come back. Nothing else." Lutz was following as her pacer. Over 3 months, Lutz had memorized the best speed for her. Dad was paying him to keep watch. They walked while chatting. The exhaustion after arrival was overwhelming. She sat on a rock. Lutz patted her back. "Faye and Thule's baptisms are coming up. You got to get used to walking here real soon." "Why?" "Once baptized, they start apprentice work. You'll be the only one with time to go to the forest. Without Thule, she probably wouldn't survive. I'll always protect you, 'cause you're so small and weak." "I'm going to gather firewood. Rest." Once Lutz left, she grabbed her spade and started digging. Her goal was go and come home, try not to catch a fever. But could she bear leaving without doing anything? No. She thrust the spade into the ground, but the flimsy branch didn't even go a centimeter. Scratch, scratch, scratch. After digging 5 centimeters, Lutz returned. "What are you doing? Didn't you promise not to tire yourself out? I want sticky clay." "You'll find more over there, where there's not much grass." "Thanks." "Hey, stop." He grabbed the back of her neck. "Your job is to rest. What's so important?" He pulled her ears. "Ow, it's something I really want." She glared with tears. "Are you saying you'll dig for me if I rest?" "I'll dig once I finish firewood, so rest." His answer made her freeze. "Why help me? You made those Peru cakes when I was hungry. That day I decided to help you with whatever you needed." Lutz led her to ground with poor drainage and started digging. After 50 centimeters, the ground changed color. "Is this it?" She grabbed some and squeezed. Cold, heavy, changed shape. This was definitely sticky clay. "This is it. You're amazing." Lutz kept digging. She brought chunks to a large rock. "So what do you need this for?" "I'm going to make clay tablets." She squished it into a thin tablet and grabbed a stick, carving in a Japanese bedtime story. "Are those letters?" "Uh-huh. If I write something down, I can remember it later. Books are just filled with these." Wow. She'd need 10 tablets to tell the whole story. "Yay! I finished." She was struck with overwhelming accomplishment. Oh, great Mesopotamian culture. She turned around to see the finished tablets stacked. She screamed. What she saw was so unbelievable her mind went white. Faye stepped on them. "He messed them up. You wah!" The first half had turned into mush. I had finally finished them. "How hard do you think I worked to come here? Stupid, dumb idiots!" She glared as hard as she could, choking back sobs. Rage coursed through her. Faye and friends flinched and backed away. Thule came running. "What's wrong? You look really mad." "I'm never going to forgive them." Lutz patted her back. "I get why you're mad. But what's done is done. The only thing you can do is make them again. I'll help you. If we start right now, we can make it before the gate closes. Faye and the others feel bad, so they'll help too." "Yeah, definitely. Sorry, seriously." Their apology made the anger drain out. "Okay, I'll make new ones." She didn't forget to drive the point home. "Don't think any of you will get a second chance." Apparently, she reigned as queen of top people you should never make angry rankings for some time. Going to the forest and exploding with rage took so much out of her that she ended up bedridden with a fever, murmuring clay tablets over and over. Dad wouldn't let her go right back. "Wait until tomorrow." She started preparing with excitement. She could wrap tablets and bring them home. She woke up in excitement the next morning, but it was raining hard. A torrential downpour. No! Visions of clay tablets falling apart flashed through her mind. "My clay tablets, they're going to turn into mush." "Hold it. Where do you think you're going?" She tried running outside, but Mom grabbed her neck. "This storm would kill you." She sunk to the floor. "My clay tablets. Don't worry, everyone will help you." Thule rubbed her head. The storm continued for 2 days. It was a bright morning. They passed through the gate. The wonderland had been scarred by the storm. "Are you going to make those tablets again?" What are they anyway? She began to teach Lutz. They're things to write on. If you have something you don't want to forget, you can write it down. Clay is so squishy you can wipe away mistakes, and once done, you can harden them with fire. What'd you write down? I wrote a story my mom told me. What I really want are books, but there aren't any here, so I'll make them myself. So that's what you really want to do? What I really want is to live a life surrounded by books. I want tons of new books made every month. I want to buy all of them and spend my life reading them. So basically, you want books? Yes, I want them so bad, but they're too expensive. So what can I do but make them myself? All right, I'll help out. What do you want to do, Lutz? I want to go to other cities. Bards and traveling merchants go to all sorts of places. I want to do that too. That sounds really cool. You really think that? Traveling seems wonderful. I actually dreamed of traveling and visiting tons of libraries. Once they reached the forest, she immediately began investigating. Does anyone know where the tablets are? She couldn't find the tree. Faye pointed at fallen trees. We just gotta search. Once Lutz began digging through shrubbery, everyone joined in. Hey, ain't these it? Faye waved her over. She dashed over and found clumps of clay without any visible letters. The rain had messed them so much all her work had been erased. Ah, back to square one. I didn't break them this time. I know that. She couldn't stop tears from flowing. As she sobbed, someone hit her lightly on the head. Myne, if you've got time to cry, you've got time to make more tablets. Lutz's voice broke through. Right, I won't let the world beat me. I first failed because of Faye, then failed because of a storm. I've experienced human and natural disasters. What else could the world throw at me? From these failures, I've learned I need to finish tablets all at once on a sunny day. With this many helpers, I should finish in no time. She got right to work. Faye and his crony dug out clay. Lutz and another squeezed clay into tablet shape. Her job was just carving letters. Faye and the others finished all 10 before running off. Lutz kept digging. You're not going to gather? Ralph's here today, so I can stick around. Well, I have enough clay, so why don't you practice writing? She carved Lutz into the ground. What's that? Your name. You won't be able to travel the world if you can't write your name. Lutz started to practice with green eyes sparkling. Done! She'd finished writing one of the stories Mom told her. She wrapped the tablets in rags and stacked them inside her basket. Her eyes turned upward and tears dripped out. She'd finished her first book. She'd begun life in this world at the end of fall, and spring was now ending. It took a very long time to get her first book. But now that she'd made one, her life here had finally stabilized. I can read books again, so I think I'll be fine. Since she'd been reborn in a world where books were too expensive and she'd been reborn into a weak body, she never really cared about pushing herself. She didn't care if she ended up dying. This body didn't feel like hers, and she couldn't imagine living without books. She had no attachment to anything. But now that she had a book, she had something she wanted to take care of. She'd finally found something worth living for. She'd found her path in this life. You finished? Uh-huh. Thanks to everyone's help. She showed Thule and Lutz the finished tablets. What's written on these? This is the story of the Star Children, the one Mom told me on that first night. First, it's the first story that I remember. Mom had whispered the story the night she first became Myne, when she had such a high fever she couldn't sleep. Her voice was filled with love, but it felt like her love was for someone else. She didn't accept having become Myne, so Mom's feelings went in one ear and out the other. Nothing hurt more than Mom's love, for it worsened her sense of isolation. And yet, when she decided to make her own books, that story was the first thing that came to mind. By turning Mom's stories into a book, she would be able to accept the love contained within them. I really want to write down all the stories Mom told me. But won't the letters just disappear again? They will if I leave them like this, which is why I'll heat them up to harden them. Then we can read Mom's stories whenever we want. About half a year had passed since she began life in this world, and finally, for the first time, she smiled a truly sincere smile. It would have been beautifully emotional for things to end right there. She wanted to heat the tablets as soon as she got home, so she waited for Mom to be distracted and immediately put them on the hearth. whereupon they exploded. She heated them, and boom, her first book turned to dust and rubble. She just stood there in a daze, and before she could figure out what went wrong, Mom yelled at her and made her swear not to make clay tablets a second time. If only she had a knife like Thule, she could make Mokkan. While stuck thinking, Thule turned 7. It was customary to throw large celebrations. A baptism was held at the temple each season. Since children under 7 weren't allowed to enter, she couldn't watch. But neither could Dad. He had a meeting ordered by an archnoble. And yet, Dad had been complaining since morning. Don't wanna. This is Thule's baptism. Dad, I'll go with you, so don't skip work. Parents wait outside in the plaza. It's a father's duty to wait outside. Isn't going to work a father's duty too? Dad looked her way with tearful eyes. I'll go to work with you, but I'll go right back to the plaza once the meeting's over. Thule smiled. Geez, Dad, hurry home. Thule made a request. Myne, keep an eye on Dad and make sure he goes to work. Leave it to me. Dad's pitiful behavior made Thule burst into laughter. Okay, done. You're looking super cute, Thule. She'd braided both sides of Thule's hair, finishing with her ornament of tiny lace flowers. Mom was wearing her best outfit. They left home. There were tons of people in the plaza. Wow, Thule, you're so cute, Carla complimented loudly. Your hair's all braided like a princess's. Myne worked hard to braid it. Women and girls peered at Thule's hair. I wish I could have my hair braided like that too. Myne, everyone wants you to do their hair, Thule suggested, but she shook her head. I could get sick at any moment. The temple's bells rang. It's time. They walked onto the main street. This feels like a marathon, people waving and cheering. Thule and Faye joined the group. More kids joined as they crossed intersections. The group stopped at the fountain. Wrong way, Dad. She took Dad's hand and pulled him away. They headed to the southern gate. Captain, you're late. Otto sent Dad to the meeting. As she was practicing, a soldier rushed in holding paperwork. Do you know where Otto is? He's in a meeting. Do you want me to read it? You? I am Mr. Otto's assistant. He looked suspicious. You can read? I can read inquiries and letters of introduction. This is a letter of introduction. She inhaled deeply, filling her lungs with the scent of parchment and ink. It's an introduction from Baron Blon, headed to Baron Glaz. The commander's seal is necessary. Please have the merchant wait in the room for lay nobles. The commander is in a meeting with an archnoble. Thanks. Soon Dad rushed in. Time to go home. While arguing, Otto caught up. A merchant with a letter of introduction came. I had him be taken to the waiting room. That's the good work I expect. She's my daughter, said Dad, making Otto sigh. Go home with this captain. He was so antsy an archnoble glared at us. That night they had a celebration. She made French toast and soup with heart and star-shaped vegetables. Thule loved them. Here, Thule, your presents. They gave Thule clothes and tools for work. And Myne, this is for you. Her parents placed a bundle on the table. But I didn't get baptized. Now that Thule has work, it's your job to pick up firewood. You'll need this. She opened the bundle and saw a gleaming knife. The blade was thick and heavy. Those who can't help are treated like babies. I have my own knife now. A knife. Now I can make Mokkan. After catching her breath in the forest, she sat on a rock and took out her knife to work on a Mokkan. She didn't have any experience carving wood. In elementary school, a lesson involved using a small knife to manually sharpen a pencil. It was only now she felt sincere regret over how she'd barely participated. To experiment, she tried carving off a little bit off the thinnest branch. It was a struggle, but she managed. Oh, this is kinda hard, but I think I can do it. She could practice knife skills while making Mokkan. Yellow River culture, you have my sincere thanks. Since this just involved picking up branches and carving them, there was much less work than clay digging. Myne, is that what you're making to replace the clay tablets? Asked Lutz. What? How'd you know? 'Cause you look like you're about to rub your cheeks on that wood. Bwah! I'm making Mokkan. I'll help. Could you let me meet that Otto guy? Why? I wanted to hear about traveling merchants, said Lutz quietly. I'll try. The two steadily kept carving. Lutz made several large Mokkan. She smoothed their surfaces. She now had wooden boards, but both sides were pure white. I wonder if they'll let me borrow ink? When Thule went to work, she went to the gate to study. While practicing words, she kept an eye out for a good opportunity. Once Otto started putting up his ink, she struck. How do you become a traveling merchant? What? Myne, do you want to become a traveling merchant? The captain's gonna kill me. She hurriedly waved her hands. Not me, my friend. Oh, who? Tell them they should give it up. She could understand why children would find nomad lifestyle attractive, but the lifestyle is so different their own experience wouldn't prove useful. I think he'll listen to you more than me. Plus, don't you have connections to the Merchants Guild? Maybe he could become an apprentice merchant and leave the city to buy goods elsewhere. I see your point. Must be that gold-haired kid. That's right. I've more spare time this season, so sure, no problem. Thank you. Ah, right. Would you be okay with sharing some ink? You mean this stuff? Otto tapped the shut ink jar. Could you pay me in ink from now on? 3 years of working for free. His reply was so brisk she just blinked in surprise. At the rate you're helping me, it'll take about 3 years to afford a jar of ink. 3 years. Ink's expensive. Otto gave a wry grin. Ink's only used for paperwork involving nobles. It's way too expensive for kids. In short, ink was simply out of her reach. Although she'd finally finished the Mokkan, she had nothing to write on them with. The second I solve my paper problem, I realize I have an ink problem. It seemed she would have to start from scratch, making both books and ink. Am I going to have to catch a squid or an octopus? Where's the ocean? She let out a yell, causing Lutz to jerk in surprise. Lutz, what do you think ink is made from? How can I make some myself? And so her journey to make ink and books continued.